Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Touchlinefacts. First and foremost, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. And today we've got some transfer updates on the striker. Manchester United have apparently approached or made a move for Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins, and the deal for Benjamin Sesko is off. There's no chance of us getting Alexander Isak or going in for him, should I say. Same with Jackson, I believe. I think Jackson was a few days ago. Looks like a major striker update. But first and foremost, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. Share buttons, notification buttons. Let's try and get to 2K as soon as possible. We should be trying to get back onto the grind of uploading every day, streaming, all that good stuff. Now, listen, let's get straight into it. So, according to an In the Know account, let me just set this up because I know it's going to, I know it's going to do that. We'll just start off with the Sesko news. So, according to Chris Wheeler, Man United rule out a move for unsettled Newcastle star Alexander Isak and other expensive options like Benjamin Sesko and Nicholas Jackson as they struggle to afford a new striker after spending more than 130 million on Brian Mbeumo and Mateus Cunha. Which, to be honest with you, let me just say, I don't believe Isak maybe. The Sesko and Jackson, I believe it's because we think the other option, they're too expensive for them. I believe we probably would pay 40 million for Jackson if we could. I believe we don't want him because he's not that good. Same, I think, logic applies to Sesko. I believe we believe he's massively overpriced for a risk. With Jackson, Premier League proven, but Sesko isn't, and Sesko's a risk. Jackson's a risk. Sesko's also a Chelsea reject. So it adds a bit more pressure onto it. That's what I personally believe. And obviously, I believe Chelsea want 80 to 100 million for Nicholas Jackson. We're not offering anywhere near in the realms of that. Maybe half of that would be enough for Jackson, for me, in my personal opinion. That's personally what I believe. But yeah, so the moves for Sesko and Jackson are ruled out. Alexander Isak as well. Chris Wheeler quickly shut that down just so United fans didn't get too gassed. Then obviously we know about. Following the Alexander Isak news, David Ornstein dropped that Newcastle United are exploring a move for Benjamin Sesko of RB Leipzig in case Alexander Isak leaves. 22-year-old RB Leipzig forward subject of long-standing Newcastle United FC interest. A top target should Isak depart. Deal challenging from a financial perspective. But the deal's challenging from a financial perspective, I believe that's because Newcastle don't want to pay the money. They don't believe Sesko's worth. I don't think anyone wants to pay the money that Leipzig are trying to get for Sesko. No one wants to pay even 60, let alone 80 million. They know he's not worth it. They know he's a 40 million pound striker at best. He's not done much in the game. He's talent-wise, he's not that talented. His ability is not, as I say, his ability, technical ability, his fundamentals, even his goal scoring is not that good. His physicality is quite decent. He's quite electric, good at running in behind and stuff like that. Good strength, but tall. But other than that, no, he's not really got a great outlet of quality, should I say? And I feel like there's a reason why everyone's sniding him. Arsenal end up choosing Gyökeres, Liverpool end up choosing Ekitike, Chelsea end up choosing João Pedro and Delap. Man United are choosing other people, and I think there's one or two other clubs. Even fucking Bayern Munich are choosing Volta-Made and not even trying to get him. So I feel like there's a reason for that. I feel like there's a massive reason for that, and it's because he's massively overpriced and he's not that good. But yeah, I feel like Newcastle being interested in him doesn't he wouldn't choose Newcastle or Man United, but I feel like United wouldn't want to. That's what Leipzig would want. Leipzig would want a bidding war, and United will not go into a bidding war for someone like Sesko, in my personal opinion. And then moving on. Now, this is obviously the Sesko deal's off, the Jackson deal looks off. I think the Jackson deal a few days ago, I think David Ornstein or Ben Jacobs come out and said that it's just he was internally discussed. He wasn't actually, like, Man United were looking at him. It was just a name that popped up, and then people took it out of context. Stuff or people love to try and pretend that we was after him. I don't think we were. And the Alexander Isak shut down straight away. Now, we'll start with the secret scout. Just in, Manchester United have made an official move for Ollie Watkins. For those of you that don't know, this is like the hand of Arsenal. This is like a tier one in the know. It's not like it's not like a David Ornstein tier one journalist, because it's not. But it's like an in the know that probably does have a few links. It probably is right a few times about the football club. Probably does know a few things in the football club, a few people in the football club, and has come out and said Manchester United have made an official move for Ollie Watkins. And then just before that, Ben Jacobs released. Manchester United hold fresh talks over Ollie Watkins, as revealed Alex Crook earlier. I'm not sure what that actually means. Fresh talks over Ollie. I feel like maybe that internally they're having a discussion in the boardroom. Watkins valued at 60 million, with Villa's preference to keep or not sell without a replacement. Villa retain an interest in Alejandro Garnacho, separate deal should they advance in talks. That could come in the key because, as I said, I was discussing a potential swap deal for not swap deal, but Martinez and Garnacho. It looks like now we're going to go and get the Belgian goalkeeper Lemons. So potentially we could look at it and say, look, we'll buy Ollie Watkins for 50 million. We'll buy Ollie Watkins for 50 million. You buy him. You buy Garnacho for 50. You get what I'm saying? And it helps Villa. We know we're struggling with FFP. It helps us with FFP. Helps Villa with FFP. You get what I'm saying? It's starting to add up a bit now, isn't it? And I feel like we could potentially do that. But whether Villa would accept it, I mean, Villa wants 60 million. I don't think United are going to pay 60 million for Ollie Watkins purely because of his age. If he was 3 years younger, I would pay 60 million for him. But it seems like, I mean, I believe they got offered 60 million in January. They should have accepted it then. If apparently that, I mean, no one actually knows if that deal was actually real, that was a PR move or whatever. But yeah, obviously Arsenal apparently offered him 60 million in Jan. Listen, they're not going to get that. Every year the player gets older and starts getting closer to that 30 mark, his price decreases. Watkins, for me, still got 2 or 3 years, I think, left that he could give at the top level. He turns 30 this summer. I thought he took 30 this summer, so 30 this season. I thought he took 31 this season. He turns 30 this season. I believe he turns 30 this season. So, yeah, I would say 40 plus 5 and add-ons. That's what I would say. Maybe they can get 50 million. They're not getting 60, 70 million from. Sorry, you're not, Villa. Hate to break it to you. You're not. And they're especially when they're in desperate need for finances. If we do a swap deal with Garnacho, that is the only way I would say. I'd say if they are agreeing to buy an Alejandro Garnacho for, let's say, 50 plus 10 million add-ons, I would say, cool, we will pay 55 plus 5 for Watkins. We will pay the extra 10 million for Watkins because Garnacho's sale will guarantee us an extra 150 million in PSR. But the problem is if you pay Ollie Watkins and you buy him for 60 million, in 3 years' time when you want to replace him, when he's inevitably going to get washed and you need to sell him, you don't want to lose money on that sale. So you're going to then want to try and sell him for 20, 30 million. You get what I'm trying to say? And then Man United are in a sort of scenario like we're in with other players where FFP reasons as to why we can't get rid of them because we don't want to make a loss on them. But we kind of have to, you know what I'm saying? And Ollie Watkins is a 30-year-old, or 31, let's say 32, 33, and we still owe 30 million in his transfer. We're still paying off his transfer. It kind of leaves us in a bit of a sticky situation when it regards to FFP. So that's why I feel like one of the main reasons we can't spend 60 million on a 29-year-old, because in 3 years' time, we're probably going to want to get rid of him. And then, as I say, it's going to be hard to get rid of him if you still owe 30 million in the transfer fee and you want to make that 30 million. You don't want to make a loss. But yeah, let me know what you lot think in the comments below. Who do you want? I personally think we're going to end up with Mateta or Watkins. I've been saying it last week. And I actually, I'd be happy with either of them personally. I prefer Mateta because he's 2 or 3 years younger and you can get an extra 2 or 3 years. And even then, you could probably sell Mateta in 3 years' time when he's 30 and make the money you spent on him, some of it, you still owe for the transfer fee because as we know, they pay off in installments. So in 3 years' time, we probably might still owe 20 million to Villa. We're going to want to get 25, 30, you know what I'm saying? And who would pay that? Maybe some team would pay that. Maybe you would. I mean, Chris Wood went for 30 million for fucking Burnley to Newcastle. So maybe they would. I don't know. Let me know what you lot think in the comments below anyways. Looks like Man United are moving in for the striker. I believe we're going to get closer and closer to Lamins as well. Lamins talks, I believe we're going to get a goalkeeper. I think in the next 7 days you're going to see a lot more movement in transfer. Hopefully we can get a sale or 2 over the line as well. Raise some of that funds, raise some of that transfer budget. But hit the sub button, hit the like button. I'm out, people. Bless.